What is going on, everybody? I am Prepper Princess, the author of Living on Almost Nothing. If you're interested in purchasing this book, I will go ahead and leave a link down in the description box below. As you can probably understand by the title of this video, I somehow accidentally became a minimalist, and I am all the happier for it. I recently had a roommate who stayed with me just for a short period of time, and that was what was intended. It was a friend who was in need of help. He got to stay here rent-free. When he moved in, I sold my king-size bed for $200 on Facebook Marketplace, and then I kept that $200 to redesign the bedroom once he left, and that's what you're seeing behind you. The bed cost $150 and about $50 for all of the linens. The painting behind me is a painting that I took myself, and everything else in the room was stuff that I already had. And I do want to show the paneling. See the paneling right here? So if you can see, I did the trim myself and the paneling myself. So what it was with this room, behind there was a window. And about a year and a half ago, I had a contractor come out and remove the window. The window was useless. It didn't even open. It wasn't a real window. It was actually sealed shut. It was sealed shut. It couldn't be used. And the only view you have outside of that window is a fence, my fence, which is not a fun view to look at. So I decided to get rid of the window because it did no good, and it actually made it less energy efficient in here, which is not something that you want in the desert. And when he took the window out, he left a big square right where the window was. Contractors in this area are horrible. They can't do anything right. And you can actually see another hole. See the square right there? Yeah, that's not from a picture frame. That is where he took out a air conditioner that was in the wall, and he just plastered it up and left a nice big square. Well, that's exactly what was behind me. So I took the paneling, did all that work myself, made it a real cottage. This is a beachy cottage, river type feel, and I wanted it to feel luxurious and kind of green, like with the fake plants and the rose behind you. And I remodeled the room for about $400. But if you take off the $200 for the bed, it was like $100 or $200. So I'm just going to turn this around, and I'm going to talk to you about minimalism and my journey as it would be. I'll tell you exactly how I started my minimalism journey, the exact things that I started noticing and getting rid of, and how I became okay with it. So it is sort of a mental and emotional thing that you've got to do, but I do want to quickly give you a tour of this, and then we'll go ahead and get into that. All right, so this is a view of the bedroom at the door. So here's the doorway, and I did the trim on the door as well. But the draperies were $17. I already had the plants in the side tables, and you can see the paneling and the trim I did myself. And the drawers in these are empty. So I don't want you guys thinking that, like, and the closet's empty, pretty much. Empty closet. I've got 2 pillowcases up there, and that's it. That's all that's in the closet, and some hangers at the other end. And so I don't want you guys thinking that, you know, I'm just making up this minimalist stuff. This is for real. And this is technically the master, but it's the smallest room. It's 12 by 10, I believe, or 12 by 11. And then it's attached to the bathroom, which I also minimalized to the best of my ability. And that is about all there is to this room. So the mirror was like $20 at Ross, and it used to have this thing that stuck out like 6 or 7 inches. It was a medicine cabinet, and I hated it because it felt like it was pushing you away. So I wanted something flat, and I did that, and I repainted and stuff. And in here, just a couple of towels, a couple rolls of toilet paper, and some cleaning products at the bottom. And then up top is just first aid and a little lantern, and that's it. That's all we've got in the bathroom. And I season my rooms. I season in the summertime, I sleep in my other room, and in the wintertime, I sleep in here because it's warmer in here. But this is what I've got. So let's get to exactly what it was, where I started my minimalism journey. This is exactly where I started. Sounds kind of silly, right? But in here I had something like 16 different forks and like 14 spoons and 18 knives. I don't know where all my steak knives went. I used to have like a million of them. And I started with that. I'm like, hey, it's just me. It's not like, you know, my dogs are going to be cutting up some steaks for themselves. And whenever I have company, the most people I've had here is 2 people at a time. No, sorry, 3 people. 3 people at a time. So that's 4 people. So I only need enough for 4 people. And even if you know, my kitchen table only fits 4 people. So this is exactly where I started. I got rid of all the extra forks and extra spoons and extra knives. And then I went on to the next step, which is plate cabinet. So I had so many plates. They were stacked like all the way almost up to the top here. They were like up to here. And it was like 3 full ones. And I did the same thing. I remember this one, I had like 12 of these. And these ones are actually, so I have these round ones I got at a thrift store. These are standard 12-inch plates. But I'm getting older. My appetite, I have to control. I'm one of those people. I have to control my food intake because morbid obesity does run in my family. So I don't want to use these 12-inch plates, so I bought these 9-inch plates, which are the same ones that they used back in the 50s. They're much smaller, but you can fill a plate and you'll feel much more satisfied. And these are like not quite bowls and not quite plates, but they just seem really, really convenient to use. And I had something like 8 mugs. These are my favorite mugs, but it's just me. So I took it down to 2, and then I've got 2 glasses, 2 bowls, and then these are for coffee making and lemonade making. And up at top, I don't even know what's up at top. Oh, a gravy boat and a butter tin. That must be for when I have fancy guests. But I really, really got rid of something like 50 plates. And I just started in the kitchen. That's where I went. And I realized, you know, I'm not using these. I can't use all these. And even if I do like use one and break it, I'll just go to the thrift store and replace it for 50 cents. That's what those glasses are. They're 50-cent glasses from the thrift store. Moving on over to the pots and pans. So I had like duplicates of duplicates of duplicates. I had like 4 saucepans and like 6 frying pans and 4 water boils. I don't even remember. I just decided to pick my favorite, which is the Rachel Ray collection. I'm not affiliated with her, and nor am I getting paid for saying that, but I just like the cookware the best. Got rid of every extra piece of cookware because I only have 4 burners. I can only cook so much at one time. You know what I mean? I only have one kitchen. So this was one of the bigger steps in order for me to get rid of things. And it's kind of hard because, you know, you spent all this money on these fancy schmancy things that you don't use. So you have this fear of like, well, I have to get my money's worth. Well, you're actually paying to store these things. So every time you own something like this, you're just paying more and more money for storing it. You know what I mean? So I just decided to get rid of it. So I donated all my extra stuff to the thrift store. And this kitchen is about 2/3 the size of my old kitchen, if even that. It might even be less. So I had no choice but to get rid of a lot of stuff. Let's talk real quickly about my food pantry, right? So just some regular old stuff that you see. Now, I used to have a lot of freeze-dried food, and all of this, I spent probably $2,000 on this freeze-dried food. When I moved from California to Arizona, the majority of the space taken up on the moving truck was my freeze-dried food. It is not easy to transport. It takes up a lot of space. It takes up a lot of weight, and it's a pain in the butt. You can see I still have the oatmeal and granola. Those are that's the only freeze-dried food I have left. And I decided I am going to stock my pantry with food I am actually going to eat. Now, if you have ever tried eating freeze-dried food, 95% of it is disgusting. I'm serious. The oatmeal is good. The granola is good. and the dehydrated potatoes are good. Other than that, I'm sorry, but all I can taste is salt. That is all I taste. I didn't like it. So I traded somebody from my Patreon page. He came over and installed my microwave for me, and I traded him for all of the freeze-dried food. Now, here's another funny thing about freeze-dried food. Before I made that trade with him, I tried taking it to the food bank, and even the food bank would not accept the freeze-dried food. That is how hard it is to get rid of. And do you know how hard it is spending $2,000 or $3,000 on something and nobody wants it? That is a really tough pill to swallow, everybody. So I recommend, if you are a prepper and you are stocking your pantry, stock your pantry with food you are going to eat. I don't care if all you eat is Pop-Tarts. Fill that thing to the rafters with your favorite Pop-Tarts and eat them every day and cycle through them. And every time you go back to the store, get a new thing of Pop-Tarts and take the oldest one out, okay? Only use what you're going to eat. I highly, highly recommend that. And most preppers are not going to tell you that because they make a commission off of the sales of their dehydrated food. I will be the prepper to tell you, I don't care about those commissions. You should be stocking your pantry with food that you're going to eat. Next biggest thing of getting rid of was all my books. This is the entirety of my books. I now have 8 of them, and these ones, this one's actually I have for sale on eBay. But these are the ones that I go to all the time, and I need to read this one. Otherwise, I need to donate it. But so that brings it down to actually like 6 books. But I had so many books. I had probably 100 books, right? And again, that stuff was difficult to transport. Nobody wants to buy them from you. You can barely get rid of them for free, taking them to the library, even if they're in new and great condition books. But seriously, nobody wants them. You can take them over to Half Price Books and they'll give you like $4 for 100 books. It's crazy. Nobody wants them. And being the fact that I read all these books and I just kept them on hand for just in case I want to read them again was somewhat ridiculous. So I went through every single book by book. Which ones have I read and don't care to read again? Let's get rid of them. And whether I burned the books, threw the books away, recycled the books, took them to the library, it doesn't matter. I needed to get rid of all those books just to make more space. And the more I realized that the library offers free storage of your books. Think about it that way. The library will store your books for you for free. Your books. I could take these down to the library right now, and I could go in tomorrow and go rent my book again. I could go read whatever book I want. They are a free storage facility for your books. So take them to the library. If you just like looking at books to make you feel like you're smart, hey, good for you. You know, my minimalism is not the same as your minimalism, but this is one of the biggest steps that I took, was getting rid of my excess books. This is what remains of my DVD collection. Now, you may think maybe that's a lot, maybe it's a little. I probably had 6 times this many DVDs. And it racks your brain to realize that you spent $20 per DVD and you've got 100 of them. That's $2,000 you spent on DVDs. But again, you know, you can go to the library. The library will store your DVDs for you for free. I keep a small selection on hand because the electricity goes out a lot here, but I do have backup solar. So when the electricity goes out or the internet goes out, which also happens a lot, at least once a month, I will pop in a DVD. Usually it's Spartacus or Firefly. I can't remember the difference between the TV series and the movie. Firefly and another one. But usually I'll watch those, but I like to have a little bit of a selection on hand, so I keep a few DVDs. But trust me, I have gotten rid of so many DVDs. And I don't know if I'm saying CDs or DVDs. These are movies, DVDs. But I am ready to take the plunge and pretty much get it down to just Spartacus and just Firefly. But I'm just about ready to take that step. But every week I come in here and I get rid of more and more and more and more. And I am totally okay with that. I am okay with not having them because mostly everything's digital. So let's talk a little bit about clothing. These are all the pants that I own, plus the ones I'm wearing. But I realized that I wasn't wearing but a few of my clothes. What do they say? They say you wear 20% of your clothing 80% of the time, and it's the same with the kitchen. You use 20% of your stuff 80% of the time. Well, I decided to get rid of the stuff that I was not wearing and just wear the stuff that I love and not add to that pile anymore. In fact, that gray pair up in the right hand corner, that's just for when I go to job interviews. And to be honest with you, I'm thinking of getting rid of them. But hey, maybe I could even turn them into some hiking pants because I'm weird. I will go hiking in, I can't think of anything funny, but I'll go hiking in just about anything as long as I've got the right shoes. So just something to think about. You know, we spend a ton of money on clothing. I think I read an article that said it was like $160 on average per person is what we spend in clothing on average, $160 a month. No, I get my pants 2 for $5 and I get my shirts for like $1.50 each at a thrift store. And to be honest with you, I just don't care for clothing. It's not one of my strong suits. So go through your closets, get rid of the extra stuff, get rid of it. But this leads to one other little problem. My problem is family heirlooms. So this dresser is a family heirloom. I am the 4th generation person to own it, and I barely use it. What I would much rather do is just put one of those building rack things in the closet and get rid of these giant monstrosities of furniture because they are so oversized. And it's just me. You know, this is big enough for 4 people, 1 drawer per person. I could probably take all my stuff down to 1 drawer. And I've got the same thing with this matching piece of furniture that is a family heirloom. And nobody in my family wants it. Now I'm going to be doing one quick check with the rest of my family to make sure that nobody wants it, and I'm going to tell them that I want to get rid of it. Now here is the interesting thing about this piece of furniture. It's been in my family for 4 generations, so I have this idea in my head that it is worth money. It is quality furniture. It is amazing. Well, get this. I broke the carafe on my coffee maker, so I went to the thrift store to get a replacement carafe or buy the whole coffee maker just to get the carafe, because a carafe is $12 at the store, but it's like $3 at the thrift store if you buy a whole coffee maker. So I just went in there for that. I saw a matching dresser, this exact same dresser. They were selling it for $20. So this piece of furniture is neither... It's not rare and it's not valuable. So what the heck am I holding on to this thing for? Somebody help me. We are back in the kitchen again. Now, here's one of the crazy things is that people think that if you use more soap, things are going to be more clean. And that's not the case. Soap residue actually collects more dirt and dust, so the less you use, the better. I used up all of my cleaning supplies, and these are now the only supplies that I have. The white vinegar I don't use it for cleaning. I use the white vinegar for going through my coffee maker so that the calcium, lime, and rust deposits do not build up on it because we have hard water here. So that's for my coffee maker. The only cleaning product I use is Dawn, and I still have some of that Simple Green left in my other bathroom, but I haven't touched that in like a year. And then the Armor All Protectant is for my cars, and that's it. The stuff you see behind that on the left, well, first of all, this is tinfoil for saving my food. Over here, that's garbage bags, and then the little scratchy sponges and more garbage bags. But here's the thing, I reuse my garbage bags. Now everyone asks, how do I reuse my garbage bags? Simple. I take my garbage out, I dump it, I dump the garbage, and I leave the bag. I dump the garbage and I leave the bag. Not everybody can do that because I guess it depends on where you live and you can get fined if you don't have it in a bag. That's not the case where I live, so I'm just going to keep reusing the bags until they either get wet or disgusting or something, but I'm just going to keep reusing them. So all of the cleaning products I have, folks, are right here. I think that people they use cleaners for every, we need scrubbing bubbles for the bathroom, and we need CLR for the faucets, and we need Dawn for the dishes, we need Gain for the laundry, we need stovetop cleaner for the stovetop, we need all-purpose cleaner for this, we need Windex for the windows, we need, it's like people buy one cleaning product for every surface, for each individual surface. Well, I just have one cleaning product for each surface. Now I take the Dawn and I put it in this bottle. Hey, crazy concept. I just take Dawn and then I fill the rest with water, and I've got a perfectly good cleaning product, and I'm not afraid of germs. What can I say? I never get sick. So maybe I've built up an immunity to it because I'm so disgusting, but I don't know about you guys, but I think everything looks pretty darn clean in here. Not too bad. It's not like, there's stuff splattered all over the place, and it's just, my kitchen sink's not great, but I haven't cleaned it. So, oh, and then this Myers. I got this Myers on clearance for 16 cents. Can't pass up a deal like that. So, so I'm using up the Myers, and then I'll get back to my Dawn, and then I add water to my Dawn. What can I say? So, that is another way to not have to carry cleaning products with you in every single place. All right, folks, that is how I started my minimalism journey, and I am still on that journey, and I'm still trying to get rid of things and remodel my closets and find family members who want to take my family heirlooms so that I don't have to feel guilty about it. All right, folks. Oh, and another thing, family photos. I went through all of my photos, every photo I have, and I threw away every photo that had pictures of people I didn't know. I got rid of 80% of my photos, because in 80% of the photos that I own, I didn't know the people in them. There you go. All right, I hope that video was helpful. Maybe it can help you declutter or get going on your minimalism journey, and maybe just take that first step. Go through those photos, get rid of the photos that have people in them you don't know. Go through all your cleaning products, use them by all means, don't throw them away, use them, but don't go buying more cleaning products until you run out of the stuff that you've already got. Do what you can with what you've got. Go through all of your bedding and get rid of those extra blankets, or the dingy blankets, or the kids' blankets that you had when you were a baby. Yes, it brings back a great memory, but they're never going to use the blanket again, and neither are you. You're just going to keep it in storage to pull it out once every 10 years and be like, oh, I remember when my baby was a baby and this was cute. So, do that sort of thing. If you have oversized furniture, sell that oversized furniture and get furniture that fits the room properly. Ew, it smells really nice in here. It smells very new. It smells like nobody lives in here because nobody does, except Rocky. Speaking of Rocky and Nala. We had a long walk at the river today. Proud dog mom right here. Do what you can with what you've got. Pepper Princess out.